It's time to cloud up. Let's test your Azure Availability Zones skills. Question 1. Which Azure service is supported by Availability Zones? The answer is, virtual machines. As Availability Zones are designed to support high availability for services like Azure Virtual Machines. Question 2. How many availability zones are there in each Azure region? The answer is 3, as each Azure region consists of at least 3 availability zones to provide redundancy and high availability. Question 3. How does an availability zone differ from an Azure region? The answer is, it's a data center within a region. As an availability zone is a physically separate location within an Azure region with its own power, cooling, and networking. Question 4. Which of the following can be used to protect data across availability zones? The answer is Azure Site Recovery. As Azure Site Recovery replicates data across availability zones for disaster recovery purposes. Question 5. What is the purpose of using availability zones in Azure? The answer is to achieve fault tolerance and high availability. As availability zones are used to ensure high availability and fault tolerance by distributing services across isolated data centers. Question 6. How are availability zones connected in Azure? The answer is through low latency, high throughput connections. As availability zones are interconnected with high bandwidth, low latency links to ensure consistent performance. Question 7. Can availability zones be used for disaster recovery in Azure? The answer is yes, they support geo-replication. As availability zones help ensure disaster recovery by replicating data and applications across multiple isolated locations. Question 8. What does the zonal redundancy in Azure Availability Zones ensure? The answer is data is replicated across multiple zones. As zonal redundancy ensures that critical data and applications are replicated across different availability zones for resilience. Question 9. Which of the following Azure services benefit from availability zones? The answer is all of the above. As availability zones provide fault tolerance and high availability for services like Azure Blob Storage, Azure Functions, and Kubernetes Service. Question 10. How does using multiple availability zones improve the resilience of an Azure service? The answer is by distributing services across multiple locations. As by distributing services across multiple availability zones, Azure enhances resilience and reduces the risk of service disruptions. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe skillr.com.